Hello everybody, this is just a quick refresher on these little radios, and I'm going to give you just some simple information, and it should be just enough to get you up and running if you've never used one of these radios before. And so here we go. First, pull these three components out of the box. This is the radio, the battery, and the antenna. The battery slides right onto the back of the radio here. It has some little grooves. You can feel it sliding, and just push it firmly till you hear it click. See there? And it's in there. That's all there is to it. Now to take it out, there's a button right here. It says push. You got to push that button and pull down. Okay? That's how you take it off. There you go. And these three contacts, this is where you set your radio down in your charger. And you can charge this battery with the radio off and in the charger, or you can take just the battery out and put it in the charger. Okay, either way is fine. There we go. Battery's installed. Here is your antenna port on the top left. Carefully and gently thread your antenna in. Thread it all the way down till it's snug. Just finger tight is good. Doesn't have to be very tight. Now, here, this knob on top, this is your on and off button. And when you turn the radio on, I recommend turning it at least half the volume halfway up so that it'll be loud enough that you can hear it. And you should hear it say channel mode. And if your radio's been programmed by our group, then it will have channels in it already, ready to go. So let's see what happens.
Channel mode.
Channel mode. So this one's already on channel mode. And you can see right here, first off, this top line of text, that's your A line. There's two lines, the top line and the bottom line. Okay, the top line is A and the bottom line is B. It doesn't say A or B, you just got to know that. The top is A and the bottom's B, and that never changes. And to switch back and forth, and right now, that little black triangle right here next to the W on the left, that little black triangle indicates that we're on the top line. That's our active line, the A channel. Now, if we needed to switch it to the B channel for whatever reason, we would come down here to this blue AB button and press it. Once to switch it, once to switch it back. So you just press it as many times as you need it. Okay? Just like that. So there's A, B, back to A. And over here on the right hand side, you can see channel numbers. The A line is on channel 16 and the B line is on channel 17. Okay. Also, if the channel has a name, which channel 16 does, it has a name, WTPC for We the People Connected, that name will appear on the top line. You'll never see a name on the bottom line. That's the way these radios are programmed. If it has a name, it'll be on the top only. Okay, so in an emergency right now, you want to go to channel 16, and that's where you would call out to other members of the group, We the People that Connected, to get help or to pass along information. Okay, that's where we're going to be. And if you weren't on channel 16, or how you change it is you use these little up and down arrows right here. So to change channel 16 to channel 18, you make sure that your little black triangle is on channel 16, which it is. Then you use the up arrow to go to 18.
1718.
There it is. To put it back, you use the down arrow.
1716.
There it is. Now you could just key in the channel number using these buttons down here. And all the channels are always a 3-digit number rather than a 2-digit number. So channel 18 would be channel, you would have to punch it in as 018.
018.
And then up here you see that we're on channel 18. To put it back, you could key it in as 016.
016.
And there we go. We're back here on channel 16. Now to talk to somebody on channel 16, you have to use this button on the side of the radio right here called push to talk. It's labeled PTT, and it's just like it sounds. You push it to talk, but you got to push it and you got to hold it firmly. Push firmly and hold it, and then hold the radio vertically in front of your face, about 4 to 7 inches from your face, and talk right into the front of the radio. There's a microphone right here above the AB button. So talk right into the front of the radio. Talk as clear and you know, at a normal voice, I guess. And when you're done talking, you have to remember to let go of the push to talk button. And when you let go, then your radio will go back into a receive mode or a listening mode, and you'll be able to hear the other person talk to you. Now, when you turn this radio on, if you're not in channel mode, you change it using this VFOMR button. It's frequency and memory. That's what that VFOMR means. So you switch to frequency mode or channel mode using this orange button.
Frequency mode.
And frequency mode is really for just if somebody tells you to go on a specific frequency and you don't already have that one on a channel, you would punch it in on frequency mode. But for the most part, right now, if you're just learning, stay off of frequency mode.
Channel mode.
Stay on channel mode. And you use the orange button to get there.
Channel mode.
Okay. Use the blue AB button to switch back and forth between the top and bottom lines. The top line is A, bottom line is B. Push to talk button. That's how you talk to your friends. Also, you notice there's a flashlight here on top. You turn that flashlight on using this black monitor button. It's labeled MONI on the side. Push it once, turns the light on. Push it twice, it turns it into a strobe. And a third time shuts it off. So once turns the flashlight on, 2 is a strobe, and the third time turns it off. The orange call button right here has 2 functions. The first function is to switch this radio receiver to listen to FM radio. And there's KOZI programmed in there. Okay. Now, even though I'm listening to FM radio, if somebody calls me on those other channels, I'll hear them, because this thing will automatically switch back. So I won't miss any transmissions just because I'm listening to the radio. Okay? Now to switch it off of that, it's one quick press of the orange call button again here on the side. There we are, back to channel mode. Radio off. Now, if you press and hold this orange button, it turns on an alarm. See that? Shuts it off. So you press it and hold, alarm. There we go. Now, let's talk about changing the power settings on the radio. The power settings, it's not your battery, it's how much output power the radio uses when you push the push to talk button. So it has high power, low power, and medium power. And in theory, the high power is 8 watts, medium power is 4 watts, and low power is 1 watt. And you can see what your setting is by looking right here on the screen above the W. You'll see the little M. That M stands for medium power because channel 16 is programmed for medium power. Now we can change that to high power by using this little pound button down here at the lower right corner. It also has a little blue lock or key on it because you can lock these buttons with that key as well. But one quick press just changes it from medium power to low power to high power. So you'll watch, keep your eye up here on the M for medium power. I'll do one quick press, should change it to low power. There it is. Another quick press to high power, back to medium, low, high. Now, when you switch it manually to high power, it'll stay there throughout this session, but when you turn your radio off and turn it on again, it'll default back to however it was stored originally. So in this case, we know that it's stored at medium power, and it should come up with an M, just like it did right there for medium power. So if you're talking to somebody and they're telling you that they can hear you but just barely or something like that, maybe try bumping it up to high power. But if that don't help, go back to wherever you were, because you want to conserve your battery, especially in an emergency. So if you can talk to your buddy on low power and they can hear you just fine and you can hear them, you want to operate on low power, because that will help save your battery, which can be really important in an emergency. So we talked about changing the channels. So it doesn't really matter whether you use the top or the bottom. So you could in theory change the bottom to channel whatever channel you want to talk on. That's fine. When you push this button on the side to push the talk button, it's going to transmit on whatever line has that little black arrow. So if I pushed it now, we're transmitting on channel 17. But if I switch it back up to the top, then we're transmitting on channel 16. It doesn't matter which one you use, just as long as you set that line to the right channel. Okay, so that should be enough right there, information to get you started. If you've got any specific questions at all, put them in the chat and I'll either make a video to address them or I'll just answer them in the chat if it's something simple. Later we'll go over the menu right here. The menu is how you make changes to all the settings in the radio. So I'll just show you real quick. If you push the menu, right here's menu option 0, which is your squelch. Okay, use these up and down arrows. Now we're on menu option 1, option 2, option 3. Those are these different options, and there's 40 of them. 40 different things you can change in that radio. And we'll cover that later. Right now, everything you need to know is out here on the outside. So the top line is A, the bottom line is B. You switch back and forth with the blue button. A, B. If you're not on channel mode, or if you need to be on frequency mode, you use this orange button to switch it.
Frequency mode, channel mode, frequency mode, channel mode.
You know what? And don't be afraid to experiment with your radio a little bit, because you're not going to break it by pushing these buttons. Okay? You're not going to delete anything as long as you don't press this menu button. If you start pressing that menu button, it's possible after you're in the menu, it's possible you could delete stuff. Okay? So just stay out of the menu for now and you won't go wrong. Okay? So don't be afraid to push that button.
Frequency mode, channel mode.
And you want to be in channel mode, and you
mode.
want to be on channel 16 to reach the rest of the group. If you want to chat with your friend, you chat on whatever channel you want. But when there's an emergency, go to channel 16. Okay. And when you're charging these, turn the radio off, put it in your charger. These little contacts on the back got to make contact with the charger, good contact, and you'll see a little red light will come on the front. Just leave it sitting in there until that red light turns green. Then pull it out and you're good to go. Now, you can charge just the battery. You could set just the battery in the charger and it'll charge, because most of us have a spare battery. Or you can set the whole radio in there. But don't leave the radio sitting on the charger. If you're not using it, then take it out, and don't store the radio with the battery in it. Take the battery out and put it in a drawer like that, or a box or whatever. And then when you need it, put the battery in it, and you'll have a full battery. The other thing is,
channel mode.
Right here, there's a little battery indicator right there. Now when this battery gets low, this radio will start talking to you, and it can freak you out if you're not in the middle of the night, if you're not ready for it. Okay, and it will say low voltage, but it'll have a computer voice. It'll be like a really weird way of saying low voltage. So don't store it with the battery in it. And if you've got multiple radios and you want to, you can get some of these little cheap plastic cases like this, or make one or whatever. I got this down at Harbor Freight, and it came with some foam. So I've got, this is an extended battery. It fits the same radio, and it slides in the same way. It just changes the look of the radio because it's got, this part is a long battery. but it's twice as long as the stock battery. So I keep that in here along with the stock battery. And then underneath that is the radio and the antenna. See there? And you just cut the foam out any way you need it, but all right. Any questions, leave them on the chat, okay? Thanks.